So yesterday I had my very first podcast episode with a guest after a long hiatus. Check out the podcast on my main channel. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I went into a hiatus with the podcast because I kind of felt a little bit discouraged and stressed with the numbers and having to kind of fulfill a podcast schedule. And yeah, kind of thinking about to not disappoint my guests who take out an important part of their life in their schedule to give me some time. For example, my guest yesterday was Ron Kwok, who lives on the west coast of USA, so huge time difference. So he came to my podcast at 5 a.m. his morning, so I'm very thankful that he took the time that early. And yeah, that is basically the reason why I went on a hiatus with my podcast, because I did feel really bad for my guests to show up that early or carving out time in a precious weekend just to be on my podcast, and then the podcast being not as successful as I was working towards. So my podcast, I've been doing the podcast for 3 years maybe, and yeah, it just didn't grow as much as I would have liked. So I felt really bad for my guests, not giving them the exposure that they deserved. So I kind of changed up now my concept a little bit, and going into this new season refreshed, and I'm really looking forward to it because I missed it so much. It was so much fun talking to another creator yesterday, and it's a lot of fun. You see, when you are a creator, it's a lonely job, and I'm not even doing this as a job. I mean, YouTube for me is a passion project, and as a freelancer, I'm talking to a lot of other people in the advertising world, in the film industry, but I don't have as much connection to other YouTubers. So having the opportunity to talk to other creators, especially this closely on a podcast, is very enjoyable, because we go through the same struggles, have the same ideas, and it's refreshing to talk to creators. And I can highly recommend, not necessarily to kind of start a podcast, but to connect to other people and somewhat create a community, especially here in this vlogging space. I feel like it is really inspiring and beneficial to talk to other creators. So yeah, if you have the possibility, feel free to not only connect to me and say, hey, let's talk, or slide into my DMs on Instagram, and I'm always happy to chat or comment in the comment section. And because it is extremely helpful to talk to other creators, because we just go through the same things, and just exchanging kind of trains of thought about what's kind of bothering us or what's discouraging us is really helpful. And yeah, again, it's not about that I recommend to start a podcast, although I can recommend starting podcasts because it's a lot of fun. It's not easy, obviously, but it is fun. Especially once you get comfortable vlogging and talking to the camera fluently without any pauses, again, which is why I always recommend to kind of practice one-take vlogs. As soon as you got that down, starting a podcast, talking to other people and kind of documenting it, it's really interesting and actually really helpful. So yeah, again, not about starting podcasts, but let's connect. If you want to chat, feel free to hit me up in the comment section or on Instagram. I am always happy to chat, but also if it's not with me, feel free, or I can recommend to connect to other creators. It is a lot of help and can inspire you to kind of maybe create some other things, and yeah, help you to get over some ruts that maybe you have been exposed to whilst making these vlogs or these videos. Alright, that was just my short little video about that. The podcast episode will air probably in the next few days, so maybe also check out my main channel or my podcast on all of the other things like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Pocket Cast and stuff like that, at the Mo or the Ismono podcast. And yeah, if you want to see yesterday's vlog, check out the video up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. Maybe hype and like the video and help me to get to 2,000 subscribers by clicking the button up here. I see you then in the next video. Thank you very much.